Let's talk about the best states to register an S corporation. So here's an overview I want you to pay attention to if you're thinking about the top places in the US to incorporate an S corporation. So if you're thinking about registering your small business as an S corporation, maybe you're starting a new business or launching a startup and want to incorporate it. Perhaps you want to convert your LLC into a corporation. So no matter your situation, an S corporation can be really a sensible business structure, right? Because when you really think about it, it allows you to separate your business and personal finances. That's number one. Protecting your personal assets if let's say you're ever unable to pay back a business loan or your company is sued. And sole proprietorships don't have these protections, as a matter of fact. So one common issue small business owners face is whether it makes sense to register as this type of business entity in your state or in a different state that could be more beneficial to do business in, right? So the top 3 states for forming an S corporation. Number 1, Delaware. So when you think about Delaware, many big Fortune 500 companies are incorporated in Delaware, even though their headquarters are located in other states. So what makes Delaware so attractive to them? Well, the state offers unparalleled benefits to companies, including flexibility, privacy, courts, investors and financial companies, taxes. So this is kind of cool. So, and then, so when we talk about flexibility, well, Delaware offers businesses, especially particularly S corporation, significant flexibility when it comes to corporate and board structure. This makes it easier to set up your organization. Officers and directors are not required to live in Delaware. So you also have the option to operate your business solo in the state. Most other states require at least 3 people to act as officers and directors. So privacy, well, Delaware does not make you disclose key details about your officers and directors when you are incorporated there. Many states require this information to be publicly documented. The courts are really friendly, so whether you have an S corporation or C corporation, courts are really friendly to business. So there are a lot of great things though. Now there are some drawbacks to incorporating in Delaware. The business size, so smaller companies with low business income may not enjoy all the benefits of incorporating in Delaware than that larger ones do. And also you have the expense. It can cost a lot to incorporate in Delaware. You must evaluate whether the benefits of incorporating there outweigh the cost of filing fees and other ongoing incorporating expenses. By the way, boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. Make yourself comfortable. You are going to enjoy today's conversation. The second state that is really great, where it could be great to incorporate your S corporation, is Nevada. So Nevada is considered a business-friendly state. And so let me give you a few top reasons why. First of all, you have the foreign entity, you have taxes, you have privacy, and you have asset protection. So let's talk about foreign entity. So you can form a corporation in Nevada even if you plan to operate your business in another state by registering this your S corporation as a foreign entity. In terms of taxes, well, for most business owners, the most important benefit of incorporating in Nevada is the lack of state taxes, including corporate income tax, unitary tax, estate tax, gift tax, personal income tax, franchise tax, or admissions tax. However, if you form a corporation in Nevada and live elsewhere, you may have to pay taxes to that state. A tax expert can help you figure out if this could be an issue for you. In terms of privacy, well, Nevada does not require you to list the names of the directors to incorporate, so your investors and other stakeholders can remain anonymous, not a problem. An attorney is named as the person of record for your business, allowing everyone else to stay anonymous. You also have asset protection when it comes to S corporation registration in Nevada. So when you incorporate your S corporation or C corporation in Nevada, any liability your business incurs is maintained in the corporation. Nevada has fewer legal loopholes than most states, adding a layer of certainty and protection to businesses, including S corporation. So there are, however, some drawbacks of incorporating in Nevada. So the fees. So the cost of incorporating in Nevada is kind of high. You need to work with a business expert to figure out if it's worth it for you. You also have some kind of stigma. So many illegitimate businesses incorporate in Nevada but are run elsewhere So this could cast a negative light on your organization if you were to be seen as operating from Nevada. But hey, listen, it is what it is. Boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about the top states where S corporations save the most money. Next, I want to talk to you about Wyoming. So besides Nevada, Delaware, you have Wyoming. And when we talk about Wyoming, you need to understand, Wyoming is also considered a leading state to incorporate in because it offers significant economic incentives and other benefits. First of all, you have flexibility, you have incentives, and you have fees. And the only drawback here is the benefit limits. But I will talk about that later on. I want to first talk about the benefits. When you incorporate your S corporation or C corporation in Wyoming, what do you get really? Well, flexibility. Individuals are allowed to form corporations in Wyoming. In terms of incentives, Wyoming provides economic benefits to businesses that incorporate there. There is no corporate state income tax or franchise tax for corporations. Wyoming does not collect personal income tax, and the state sales tax is a relatively low 4%. Note that there are exceptions for manufacturing equipment and similar purchases. And the fees are pretty reasonable too. So incorporation and other related fees are relatively low in Wyoming compared to, let's say, Delaware or Nevada, for instance. So the only major issue with incorporating in Delaware is what I said. Well, you have benefits limits. So if your business is located outside of Wyoming, you may not be able to enjoy all of its tax benefits. So just make sure that you talk to a business tax experts to find out for sure, because laws keep changing all the time. And the last thing you want is to actually incorporate it in Wyoming and realize, the benefits that you were actually chasing, you don't have access to them anymore. And this will be a double loss for you. So always inquire before you actually dive in. And one thing I want to say here is that, if you were to ask us among Delaware, Nevada, and Wyoming, which one is the best? Well, there is no such a thing as the best state to incorporate. It really depends upon your sector, depends upon your personal situation, what state you live in, the revenue you are generating, or the revenue you intend or generating in your activity. So those are elements you need to, and whether or not you want to hire a registered agent. Let me talk to you about other states to consider incorporating in. So first of all, you have South Dakota. So this is another great state here. So South Dakota is attractive to incorporate in because it has no corporate or individual income taxes. However, its sales and unemployment taxes are relatively high, making it less attractive to retailers and companies with many employees or those working in risky industries. So this is not really something you need to pay attention to. And you also have Alaska. So many businesses find Alaska an appealing state to incorporate in because it has no income tax and relatively low sales tax. Very high unemployment taxes offset these tax benefits. If your business is a small one with a few employees in a non-risky industry, Alaska could be a great place to incorporate. You also have Florida. So that's the third state you might want to think about. Now, the thing is, a lot of folks think about Florida as the sunshine state and the retirement state. I mean, it is a sunshine state in terms of retirement state. I'm not really sure about that, but you do have a lot of retirees in Florida. So Florida is a solid place to incorporate in because it has a long history of low taxes, including no state income taxes. And its corporate tax rates are among the lowest in the United States. And the cool thing is that it also has a long history of being pro-business. So more good news, Florida keeps making minor improvements that make it more attractive to incorporate in there year after year after year. So this is really cool. And one thing I want to say also is that you need to really be clear about your goals. Because when we talk about S corporation, remember, an S corporation is something you can actually do at the federal level with the IRS, but you also need to make sure that you have the right type of incorporation. Be aware though, many small business owners think that Texas is a great state for S corporations. The reality is that it's better for limited liability companies. It makes more sense to register an LLC in Texas than a corporation. So be clear about that, and do not make the mistake where you actually think you have property, and then when it comes time to actually owning that property, then you really are like not really sure anymore. Boss, thank you so much for your attention. We are actually, I just want to quickly talk to you about today's topic. We are having a conversation about the top states where S corporations save the most money on expenses. Let me give you a review here. So of course, we talked about the most favorable states for S corporations. Now let's talk about the least favorable states for S corporations. So first of all, you have New Jersey. So New Jersey is really New Jersey is one of the least favorable states to do business in because of its high tax burden. It ranks in the bottom 10 for corporate, individual income, sales, and property taxes. The only relief companies get is a lower middling unemployment insurance tax rate. So it's not worth it. Then you have California. So California's individual income tax and sales tax are as bad as New Jersey's. However, its property and corporate taxes are more attractive. Still, this is offset by California's notoriously high regulatory burden, especially concerning the environment. And business owners should think twice about actually settling in California and forming an S corporation there. Then you also have another player. You have New York. So New York's is a relatively great. New York has a relatively great corporate tax environment, and so this makes it somewhat attractive to incorporate in. However, all other taxes in the state are among the highest in the nation. So New York is known for being notoriously litigious, and many rulings are anti-business. So also New York is known for being a state where it's really challenging feat to conduct business. It could be wise to avoid incorporating there unless you absolutely need to. So some other states that really want to think about that are not business friendly include Minnesota, Arkansas, Iowa, and Connecticut. So those states tend to be highly taxed and highly regulated. So be very careful there. And the bottom line here is that of course you will make money. Of course you need to save your industry. Of course you need to save all kinds of stuff, but you also need to make sure that you pay attention to what's really happening around you. And this is so important. I want to talk to you about forming an S corporation in your own state. I mean, a lot of folks, they want to just jump to other states right away, but in some cases, it's just a lot better to form an S corporation in your own state. And so while it might make sense to incorporate in a pro-business place like Nevada, Delaware, Wyoming, and other similar state, it could make sense to stay in your own state. And I want to share with you a few reasons why. First of all, you have convenience, right? Convenience. It could be simpler for you to operate your business and live in a state you're familiar with. You probably understand your tax obligations and local court system. You likely build critical connections with suppliers, marketing agencies, lawyers, accountants, and tax experts. And so also you need to add, if you add this to the fact that any government agencies and courts you may have to deal with are located close to home and not in a place like Delaware or Nevada. It's really, really cool. Then you have a business name. So if you've already registered your business name in your state, it could be simpler to incorporate there. So you may not be available in another, your name may not be available in another location, forcing you to change and losing the equity you've built up in it. So this is kind of an important element to pay attention to. So really the problem here is that you have to think about fees and taxes too, because the thing is that when you think about business incorporation cost, you got to really incorporate into that cost the fees and taxes, okay? Now the thing is that those fees and taxes vary from state to state. So incorporating in your home state could make financial sense if you own, let's say, a relatively small business with a limited number of investors, or live in a state with low fees. And each state has its own fee structure taxes and benefits. And except for the top of the bottom, I mean the top and bottom states on our list today, many states have comparable fees and benefits for incorporating. What I'm trying to say here is that when you analyze the 50 states all in all, you realize that you don't have that many differences. So you also have to think about the foreign entity registration issues. So depending on whether your business activities qualify as doing business in more than one state, you may need to register as a foreign entity should you choose to form your corporation in a state in which you do not live or operate your business. So this is basically, when you think about it, this is an extra step, an expense that you need to be aware of and consider as you choose where to incorporate. So the bottom line here is what? If you choose to incorporate your company in a business-friendly state, but you do not plan to move or operate your business there, you must take all the necessary steps and file all the required paperwork, okay? And because a single misstep or error could end up costing you a lot of cash. Before I close today's conversation, here are a few essential things to keep in mind if you incorporate in another state. In other words, if you're listening to me right now and you're thinking about, having an S corporation in another state that is different from the state where you live or operate, first of all, you need to file articles of incorporation in your chosen state. So let's say if you are in New York, right, and you want to incorporate your S corporation in New Jersey or in Florida, you need to file articles of incorporation in Jersey or Florida. You must also apply for your federal EIN. Okay, so EIN stands for Employer Identification Number. So if you don't currently have one, you need to have that. So basically, your EIN is your company's social security number. Because you will be conducting business outside your state of incorporation, you must register in your state and any other states where you do business as a foreign entity. Each state has its requirements and application process, so be sure to follow the instructions for each state you register in. And you will likely need to get a business license and pay state fees to operate in each state. So the thing is that if you are, let's say if you live in one state and you want to operate in several states, you need to actually incorporate in each of those states. The bottom line here is what? You want to take time to understand your tax obligations also as a foreign entity in your home state, your incorporation state, and any place you do business. This will vary significantly from state to state. And if you want to incorporate your business as an S corporation, it's not really that complicated. Just remember that when we talk about incorporation of an S corporation, things happen first at the state level. So you have to be an LLC or a C corporation. Then you have to file paperwork with the IRS to convert your existing corporation, your partnership, your C corporation, your LLC, your LLP, whatever you have, into an S corporation. This happens at the IRS level because a S corporation is not a concept, it's not a state affair. It is a federal affair. But once you actually have the classification, you need to make sure that you are in compliance with state fiscal laws. So what I'm trying to say here is that, and then this is actually where I'm going to close to this conversation. You need to navigate two legislative worlds, two legislative realms. So you have the state realm and then you have the federal realm. Be very clear. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, it's better that you contact an attorney, a tax attorney. You can have a CPA, a certified public accountant, or you can have an enrolled agent sort of help you navigate the subtleties of what I'm just talking about. Or you can just leave us a comment. You can leave us a question in the comment section, and one of our team members will certainly get back to you. Not a problem. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I just talked to you about the top states where S corporations save the most money on expenses and everything else. So I gave you the overview, and then I give you the review here. So you have the best states. You have Delaware, Nevada, Wyoming, and then you also have South Dakota, Alaska, and Florida. And the worst, not the worst, I shouldn't say that, the least favorable states for S corporations, you have New Jersey, California, and New York. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. God bless you. I'll speak to you another time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.